Alright, this is home improvement tips, aka easy 2 tips and tricks. Alright, I'm going to show you how to sand a door. The door I'm going to use is an interior door for my barn door for this opening. Alright, and so this is like a 34-inch opening that I created, and the door's 36. Alright, so the door's going to overhang by a foot, by an inch on each side. Alright, so we're going to go outside and I'll show you that process of sanding this door and getting it ready to stain. I am now I'll be putting 3 coats on this door jamb and lightly sanding with the 320 between coats, then lightly wiping that down and then spraying. That way you got a nice smooth surface when you're done, and it won't be all grainy and feeling like sand is underneath it. And that's how you prevent that, so you continue to have a smooth surface. Alright, so no further ado, let's go check out this door. Okay, this is what I'm starting out with. Now let's look at this up close and personal. Okay, this is what it's looking like. Alright, this is going to give it some character when I stain it. I am going to sand this. Alright, and I'm just going to kerf the edge. Okay, I'm just going to lightly go across this edge because there's splinters. Alright, this would be splinterous right here. Alright, and you can see, okay, it's a little bit beat, and it'll smooth it out. It'll make it look nice. I will show you the other side that I've started on that's almost complete. Alright, but this is what I'm working with, what I'm dealing with. Okay. Alright. Now let's get this door turned over. This is home improvement tips. Alright, here's the other door, the other side of the door. Okay, and I've already sanded. I've already kerfed the edge here. Alright, I can do that. Alright, you can see it's got a little chip. Alright, but you can see where I've done this edge here. That's just a little stain right there, a little dent. Alright, this was looking similar. You see how nice these panels are looking? Alright, what I have to do left is sand in the detailing by hand. This is all going to be by hand. All the detailing, alright? And that's what this looks like. Alright. So on this side, this is what I have to do left. So stay tuned, and we'll get to the other side, and we'll get into getting here into this detailing. When I stain the door, I'm going to use this technique, a professional technique that gets in all the nooks and crannies, all the crevices. And this is Thanksgiving, but I've got to get something done. All right. This is what I'm using. It's an interior door, unfinished interior door. There's no hinges in the edge. All right. There's no grooves here. All right. This was a used door, and this kind of stuff got a little splinter there. This kind of stuff gives it character. All right. So just keep that in mind. So stay tuned. So this here gives it character, all right? And this is the finished side. What needs to be done is in the detailing here, all right? As you can see, all this in here needs to be sanded by hand. It'll all be hand sanded, and then I'll be staining this. And this will give it some character in here. And you can see where I've kerfed the edge. on this side. Okay, all the way around. Okay, no splinters. This is be perfectly fine. So when I go to stain this door, I'm going to use a technique I'll show you that gets into all the cracks and crevices. And the door's going to look really good. This will give it character in the stain as well. All right. Now this is a DA sander. This type of a sander is used for auto body, but it works great for woodworking. Less moving parts, and it's just really, it's a lot more efficient. Why am I going all over the place and not sanding in unison consistently? Just showing you these different areas and how well this sander works, all right? Okay, I just went cross grain on this standard, all right? And if you notice, I'm finishing it off here at the edge, all right, to take out the cross grain sanding, okay? Okay, so quickly I'll catch this. All that coloration is now gone. Okay, I could have left it in there, but we don't want that. All right, a little bit's okay. That's a little too strong, see? And let's get the cross members. Okay, and the bottom. Gonna leave some character in there, some. All right, now I'm gonna curve this edge here. You can see all the splinters coming up, all right, as I do that. Okay. Alright, there's the finished product. Splinters gone. Right, nice. I'm going to have to do a little bit more there. A nice round over. No more splinters. You can see the debris up here. Okay. Okay, there we go. We have to do a little more hand sanding with that as I catch all this detailing around these edges. All right, stay tuned. Yeah, stop. This is Ken with Home Improvement Tips, aka Easy 2 Tips and Tricks. All right, today I'm going to stain this barn door with coffee and using a combination of a little oil and vinegar. All right, and so I'll be doing this with the second coat of golden oak, and we're going to custom stain this door. The coffee stain is old school and something you don't really see anybody doing anymore. And so this will be a really nice door. I'm trying to match the doors that are already here, so it has more of an aged look. That's what I'm going for. But we'll see how it turns out, but it'll be nice. So I'm going to shut up and let's do this. That's what you want to show me. And now I'm going to catch around this on the corners, and I chamfered the corners. That just means I have gone around the edge of this with a piece of sandpaper to take out any splinters. And it also makes it a little better when you're staining. Okay, it holds it better. And or painting. Alright, now the next thing, like I was saying in the intro, I will be going over this with the golden oak next. And this will be a custom stain job. Now I could just keep it this color, okay? This would be a very nice color here. But you want to make sure you want to smooth out and blend, because you don't want any stain that's heavy in one area and too heavy in the next and kind of splotchy. That makes it look unprofessional. And so to keep it from that happening, you want to smooth out, blend in any uneven areas. All right. Always go with the grain. All right, I'm going to go over this after it dries very lightly with like a 400 or a 600 grit sandpaper. Okay. And because it's going to cause this coffee, it's a water base. It's going to cause this grain to swell a little bit. And so as an end result to that, I'm going to lightly sand it. Okay. Hit your corners first, and then the level spots. Right, as you can see, it's giving this door a nice orangish brown look. Okay. And olive oil is water soluble. And then I put vinegar in this. I used about 3 cups of coffee, about half a cup of vinegar, and then about third of a cup of olive oil. I could have put more, I just didn't. Okay, and this is an aged door. This is used, well, it's brand new, it's just been sitting, and so it's aged. And the object is, or the goal here is to get it to match the original doors that are here in the house. They have the patina going on in them. And we're going to see how this comes out. Now it's the barn door for the barn door opening that I've been working on. And so it stands out, it's fine, because the barn door is going to stand out regardless, no matter what. And so as you see them overlapping, and then I'm going full length, all right, so it's staying equally as much as possible. Okay, and that's why I do that. Right, just to make sure that it's stained as equal and as evenly as possible from one end to the other. All right, then I'm going to catch this rail over here. Okay, all the way back so you don't have the, you don't want any stop and start marks. That makes it look very unprofessional. Okay, you can tell somebody that's new to this, because you'll see the start and stop marks. They don't know or realize they've got to go from one side to the other and blend it in. All right. And you can see this going really quickly. This is a little light here, so I'm going to catch this in here. Okay, I'm going to catch this over here again and up here. We want it to be as equal as possible. Okay, you can see where it's drying, where it's changing, lightening up as it dries. Then you know you need to blend it and add a little extra. All right. All right. And catch this here. So you can not go over your lines of the vertical into the horizontal. And if you do, just make sure you straighten it out. All right, like right here, this is where a brush comes in. Makes it a little easier. As you see it, I'm getting it. All right. I see I'm going to have to go over this again in this area. It's a little light. And now the richer you make your coffee, or more concentrated you make your coffee, obviously darker it's going to get. You let your coffee sit for a few days. It'll get darker. It'll be more acidic. All right. This is fresh coffee I'm using. I just made it. And I should have showed me pouring a cup of it and drinking it. I didn't think about that till afterwards. Till now. All right. And now I'm going to catch this far side. Now my days are numbered. So far we're having a warm winter. It is getting cold at night. Usually it's be really cold right now. So this is a blessing that it's not cold where I can do this. Otherwise I have to try to do it in a room, but they can't heat the room. This just makes it a lot more convenient. As you see, when you go from one end to the other, and you don't want to see any stop marks or start marks. You want it to flow and blend in. All right. Now, there's grain that's coarser here, there's grain that's softer, and the softer grain will always stain darker. The coarser grain is going to stain darker, and harder grain is going to stain lighter. So just keep that in mind when you're staining. You see that effect when you're staining oak, like the door jambs I made. Installed. There's areas there where it's lighter because the grain is more dense, it's harder. And then where the grain is more coarse and more grainy, it's darker. So harder the area, harder the wood, the lighter it's going to stain. You have to put more like surface coats on it. And that's why, if you didn't know. Okay, just about done here. Now this side is staining kind of splotchy here as it's drying, but that's in the grain. Just because it's been aged, I guess, right here on this rail, all right, the side. Well, this is Ken Easy 2 Home Improvement Tips, aka Easy 2 Tips and Tricks. The other deal with the wood is if you got two different tones, two different colors of wood, obviously that's going to affect the staining process. Like you see here, this is more red, this is white, lighter, it's another, okay, that's more like a softer wood there. like the heart of the tree. And so it's white, so it's not staining quite the same. And again, I crossed over, so I want to blend this here in. And it doesn't hurt. I mean, if it's the different color variations of color look nice, and with this older doors that I'm trying to get it to match with the patina, it's looking like this may blend in really well, especially after I get the golden oak put on here. This is lightening up a whole lot as it dries. So after I get the golden oak on here, it'll really start looking good. And I may do variations of the golden oak. So mix it up, thin it down by 50%, and thin it down by 75%. We'll do the 75% thin down first, and come back thin down 50%, and then come not even thinned out at all, and kind of layer it and color that way. And that should give me the look I'm looking for as I'm slinging this coffee everywhere. But again, remember, just blend it. Go back over and go over that whole entire area and blend that in. Okay? Now, if you want to make it splotchy, that would be easy. You just take your rag and just push down and pull it back. Just kind of blob it, spot it on, dab it on. If you were wanting that look all over. Okay. So I'm just about done here. All right. And this is Home Improvement Tips. I just changed my channel name recently. Unfortunately, it's not showing up in the search. But if you search for my channel as Easy 2 Tips and Tricks in Google, or even YouTube search, I'll come up at the top under Easy 2 Tips and Tricks. Okay. I may have to change my name again to like Ken's Home Improvement, so that it's more original and comes up in the search. I may end up having to do that, as much as I don't want to. All right. Now I'm trying to blend this in here. Okay. As this is lightening up, as it dries, and it'll be what it is when it dries. And like I said, I'm going to go over it with golden oak. Okay. Well, thank you for your time and support. You could be somewhere else watching any channel you like, but you're here, and thank you. I appreciate your time. If you ever have any questions, feel free to ask. All right, I think I've got it pretty well blended. And I always want to make sure right here, if you cross over, it's always going to show. So you always want to go back and look back at your joints. All right, and make sure you smooth them out. This is looking good, looking good, looking good. Here's good, there's good, the sides are good, the ends are good. All right, I'm at a stopping point here. I'm gonna catch this area right here, and I'll be done with it. And next, I'll be, like I say, going over it with the golden oak and the polyurethane, I'm going to put about 3 coats or so on the door, and you'll see me in the next video and the door being finished. And I'll be hanging the door, and I'll show you how to get the doors set up with the hardware and how to figure out how high to make your door and all the brackets and get all that dialed in, figured out, set up, and on your wall for a completed project. Can't wait for that. So, thank you for being here. As I always say, never give up, because there's always a way, always. And so, like, share, subscribe, save for a future reference. Tell a friend. And if you ever have any questions, truly feel free to ask. And I'm more glad to do what I can to help you. So bye for now. God bless. Take care. And as always, never give up, because there's always a way. Always.